Vosper Thornycroft is one of the world's most advanced designers and builders of surface warships in both steel and fibre-reinforced plastics. Based in the south of England, the company has been building a 100-metre-long trimaran for the Defence Evaluation and Research Agency, DERA. One of the many innovations featured on this trimaran demonstrator is the RISE system for sealing cable and pipe penetrations, and also the use of CSD sealing plugs. The following film shows how to seal several different examples. Also, the simplicity of adding or removing cables at a later stage will be shown. This work was done on board the newly built pipelay vessel CSO Deep Blue. In this first case, we seal several large power cables vertically through a deck penetration. First, ensure that the surface of the penetration sleeve is dry and free from grease and dirt. For large cables over 65 mm in diameter, the installer starts by wrapping 80 mm strips of RISE material around each cable. These are easily cut and secured in place around the cable using wire ties. The depth of the penetration means that each cable requires 2 strips of material. The strips are easily pushed into place inside the penetration. The remaining space is filled using RISE insert sleeves and then sealed with FIWA putty. A bundle of sleeves is used to fill the largest free space, but packed tightly to prevent the sleeves from falling down. Individual sleeves are then inserted around the cables to fill the remaining small gaps. The sleeves are packed in tightly to ensure there are no gaps left. The sleeves are adjusted to give about 20 mm of free space at both ends of the penetration. This space is left to allow the application of the FIWA putty. With all the sleeves in place, the FIWA sealant putty can be applied. Even when applied vertically or upside down, the putty stays in place. Once enough putty has been applied, a cloth is dampened with water. This will prevent the putty from sticking to the cloth. The cloth is used to gently push the putty into the open ends of the sleeves and ensure that the putty makes a good seal around the cables. The job is finished off by smoothing the putty by hand, wetted to prevent sticking. A cloth is used to remove any remaining putty around the penetration. The top side of the penetration is sealed in exactly the same way. Fiwa putty is applied over the sleeves. The cloth, dampened with water, is used to push the putty down into the open ends of the sleeves. Finally, the putty is smoothened by hand and the job is finished, leaving a very neatly sealed penetration. The next example is that of many small cables in a conduit pipe. Split rise sleeves are applied around each cable. The size of the sleeve depends on the diameter of the cable. Please see the guide for the correct sizes. The sleeves are inserted part-way into the conduit. Once all sleeves are in place, they are pushed further down into the conduit, leaving a 20 mm gap for the sealant. The Fiwa putty is applied, paying particular attention to the spaces between the cables. The damp cloth is used to push the putty down and finish the job. The installer checks to ensure that the putty has been applied in between all the cables.